And we go. What's up, everybody? So this is future player JDK's review of Saturday Night Live, episode number 15, season 44. Host Idris Elba, musical guest Khalid. It started out pretty simple, the cold opener. I was happy to see something other than Trump. They went with R. Kelly, thank goodness. And it was a phenomenally done cold opener. We all know that's the most difficult thing to pull off is a cold open. You had a fantastic R. Kelly, Robert Kelly, man who likes to go number one or something along those lines, I think was the line. Played by Keenan, very well played by Keenan. He ramped up very nicely with the character work on his R. Kelly. There were several little things where he would do his little music thing and it would turn like a red light, and it was very fun to play with and enjoyable. And then you had Leslie Jones playing as Gail Knight, I think is her last name, I'm pretty sure. It's Gail, which is Oprah's longtime life friend. And so that's pretty cool, and she did a great job of not breaking, which probably was fairly difficult considering how much Keenan knows her. And it's a known thing is off camera they'll make faces and things to try and mess with you intentionally. Other than that, it was good. And then you had Idris Elba doing his host intro. Once again, I don't really riff on hosts because it's incredibly nerve-wracking. He had an amazing suit, though, which reminded me of Goodwill back when I had a chance to get a green suit and I didn't. But this is about Saturday Night Live. So Idris made a mention, a call-out, really, to Caroline's Comedy Club, which is pretty fucking awesome. And that was when he was starting out in America, I guess. And so that was cool. And nothing else to say. That led into their first sketch of the night, which was Can I Play That? Every actor's least favorite game show, which was a good pun, a good play on words, a good fun time. It was a lot of riffing on hosted or brought to you by Twitter, and basically talking about things like there was a mention of blind rule. You can't play that. It's bad enough they're blind, but now you want to take their job from them. And then you had, Idris Elba, Cicely, and Beck Bennett, and then you had Keenan being the host. And, there was a nice little joke about how an astronaut at the end of the movie, you find out that he's 5% Mexican, and then Beck says, no bueno, because, and then they give him a buzz. They're like, hey, watch yourself, bro. And that was fun. And then they made a joke about how Caitlyn Jenner, nobody could play that part except for Jenner, basically. And also, Keenan dared anybody to try and make that film, which I thought was pretty funny. And I look forward to seeing if someone takes that dare. Otherwise, they had a joke about female roles. Well, as a president in a drama or a comedy. And I really enjoyed that they chose comedy. It was a good pun, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. This sketch is probably the best of the night, I'd say, as far as overall. Especially the end, the joke about it holds over from an English colony. That was a lot of fun. And then that led into a mock commercial for a chicken place with Bok Bok, who is not Momo. And it was fun. It was very current because the Momo trend is a thing that's going on right now as I'm talking even. It's still going on. And so that was fun. It was a little chicken commercial. And I took a little personal. It was only a minute and 10-second sketch, so I really need to work on my short form, like my real short sketch work, because there's a chance I'm going to need to have ability to do little short sketches they can throw in if they need them. Then that led into a PowerPoint thing, which was fun. So you had Moffat and Jones together as a couple, which they, I guess, couldn't stop mentioning. And then you had Red and Garner together. And then you had the more important players, which was the receptionist from the Microsoft Workplace, and that was played by Adie Bryant and Kate McKinnon. And basically, the PowerPoint sketch was very similar to Don Cheadle with the cake that would come to life and how they were just terrible. And then it also reminded me a lot of the Teacher Fell Down, which was from the episode earlier in the season, episode 4, with host Jonah Hill. And that was where the teacher fell down. It was like I was saying in a previous review, is that it was like one lower status. And this one as well with the two receptionists was very much they were going back and forth of the worst and the worst and the worst. And it's really fun to see lower status put perfectly to film. for the sketch. So that was great. And then from that, you went over to like a comic book sketch joke thing. It was called The Impossible Hulk, and it was where Idris Elba then turns into a impossible to deal with white woman, basically. And it was just a lot of fun. A good, clever little bit. I enjoyed it. I thought the editing was phenomenal. It makes me look forward to working for the company. Then that led into the Playaz, which was a fun sketch. In fact, I'm not a very political person, but this is my jam right here. These type of political joke comedy sketches are my jam. So this is probably my second favorite of the night. And it's the Playaz, and it's a silly little bit playing fun with WNBA salaries, basically, and how they make next to nothing. And then also their lesbianism on the side as well. Otherwise, then you go into Weekend Update. With Weekend Update, you had Heidi Gardner come back with a recurring character she had done in the past, I guess. I didn't quite remember it. Probably from this season, though. Maybe last season, possibly. Named Baskin Jones. She's a representative for random creams and such and doesn't remember the product, basically. What was cool is it's a different voice for Garner. But unfortunately, it's also the same character. So the physicality and the style of delivery are both the same. However, the voice was different, which is nice. And then you had Gwyneth Paltrow coming in as her representative or her manager named Pfeiffer James. So that's kind of interesting. I wondered if they had the whole, she's John's and then Pfeiffer James. So John and James as last names. I thought that was interesting. And then toward the end of that little bit, there was an attempt fail. So if you want, you can check out the update for the attempt fail of same lines, which is where you deliver the lines. The most modern I can think of sketch on Weekend Update where they pulled off same lines was when you had the singing duo played by Kristen Wiig and oh, give me a second. Give me a second. I'm so sorry, man. I'm not going to remember right now, but you're very awesome. You're Seth. You're the drummer, the guest drummer for Seth. Late Night with Seth. And I'm just blanking on your name right now, my dude. I'm so sorry. But anyway, that led into some more talking. And then you had Pete Davidson. Once again, just basically being Pete Davidson. Again, though, here's the thing, okay? I get it. You know, the guy does stand-up. He's not an improv actor. So they have Pete go on, and the first 10 seconds in is just him and Colin Yost just fawning over each other. But then after that, you've got, so I've got it written down, but he got 3 minutes and 57 seconds total time to talk. And his stand-up stuff, all he was doing was basically the same stuff. Like, they just gave him a little more privilege than a regular open mic. An extra minute. And all Pete was doing was just riffing. Like, it was nothing special to remember him about. Especially the part at the end where they had to talk about him and Kate Beckinsale. Like, you know what? Like, Lauren, honestly, is that all? You know? Because I'm going to say that after that, you had Leslie Jones talking about how she's preparing her funeral. And she got 3 minutes and two seconds. And hers was nonstop hilarity and a lot of fun to see. See, Leslie being Leslie on Weekend Update, right, okay? Pete, you've done it 5 times this season alone. It's just, there are obviously people that like it, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. That or you just really had nothing else you could offer. I'm not 100% on why you keep putting Pete's face on the front, but I'm starting to say, I really like Pete, and I appreciate him, but you know, he doesn't do anything. He's just doing his stand-up, and, you know, I'd rather you just run clips of him when he was 14, 15, 16, I think, because the little Pete was cute to watch. That's all I'm saying. And then that is that, and that led into, so then the 6th sketch of the night, which was the soccer footballer interview, where he is currently injured, so Idris Elba is basically complimented by Moffat and Day, once again doing a great duo character combo. as footballer announcers, and there was just a lot of fun, cheeky play going on. I rather enjoyed it. I think it was probably one that I could see Idris would have picked because he probably does enjoy Manchester or some English footballer league. That led into probably my... It's tough this week, but definitely this one is in my top 3 for sketches. And it was the great Rubio, or Rudolpho, excuse me. And the great Rudolpho was a magician, but his assistant called sick on account of being pregnant. So he had to have the casino host, the guy that owns the casino's wife, step in. And the guy that owns the casino is played by Keenan. Phenomenally. Hilarious makeup job. They gave him a little bit of gone on the top, and like just it was very fun. And it was a lot of silly size comedy, a lot of physical comedy, and I was just commenting to someone the other day how SNL has been lacking in this category a lot. And so I was really happy to see this sketch. This sketch is probably actually, I know I already said earlier my top 1, but I'm guessing this one and the acting one are back and back. I forgot. So I'm going to put this one at number 1, put the acting one at number 2, and then I'm going to put the NBA Playaz at number 3 probably. That sounds about right. But yeah, I enjoyed the Leslie Jones played the new, like, the casino's owner's wife, and she kept calling the magician master, and I thought that was pretty funny. They did a sword cuttery thing. The best though was the water tank afterward, and then I'm not gonna ruin the ending, but I feel personally the last line delivered and the punch, if you will, was completely they didn't need to put that in there, but all the more power to them. And then that finally goes down to the final sketch of the night, which was, I just wrote actors at a bar. And basically that's just Beck as the lead actor for this sketch. And then you got Aidy Bryant, Moffat, and Cicely as the other actors like himself. And then you have the host, Idris, come in as an actor who got a part that I would guess Beck's character also tried out for based on the reaction out in the window. He flips out. It's a lot of him just overacting for being, oh no, man, no, I'm really happy. No, I'm so happy that you got that. No, man, anybody other than me, probably, I would say, you deserve that part. Like that kind of thing. And then it ended with him being a karate kid. But the whole thing, like, wanting to be a karate actor and stuff. So the whole thing was okay, but it was flat a little bit. And I think, it's probably one of those things where they had to mess around with the last few seconds of this show, and that's what they went with. So that was my review. I'm going to put links to the top 3, like always, but otherwise, I'm going to drop another one for John Mulaney as soon as possible, probably after this one. And then I'm going to be traveling a lot. However, I'm going to start stacking down. If I can, I'm going to try and pump out more reviews for episodes previous to the ones that I have already reviewed, and that way I can catch up on my trip, so I have something to do, and I'm going to bring the camera and the laptop. So this has nothing to do with Saturday Night Live, though. All in all, I'd say, like, it's a 7 out of 10, but then again, I'm really fair with this stuff. I love y'all. I hope you enjoyed my review. Make sure and click like, make sure and click subscribe, and I'll see you in the future.